I gotta be I gotta be careful with my words. I woke up this morning, you know, got myself a gun. No, I've never owned a weapon. I never will own a weapon. I'm not a violent person. Um, I'm gonna handle all this with the truth. That's just me. But I had to look up the law because it's a crime, right? We have free speech, but like we can't say something like I can't come on here and say something that encourages harm, right? And it's tricky because I have to address the moral grounds of what is and the crimes that have been committed and the individuals who are responsible for that organized crime, but I can't tell them to kill themselves. You know what I mean? Like I can't come on here and say uh, that that every FBI agent should eat their service weapon, right? Because that encourages harm or could cause, you know, a reaction, right? I can't do that. That's illegal. I called the FBI a few years ago, you know, because just because the corruption's coming out and you're finding out about the corruption today, you're well aware that a lot of people were familiar with the corruption before that. So years ago, I called the FBI, and this is around the time, and they still are doing this to me, right? Where they want to do a mental health check on me. They want to make sure that I'm okay. And so I called the FBI and I said, you know, your people are covering up a lot of crime that's being exposed. You should do a mental health on everyone in your building, you know, because I got a feeling your employees are going to eat their service weapons, right? And they sent out Newington police to the house right away, right? To make sure that there's nothing wrong with me because I'm calling them out for their crimes. So I just got to be careful how I word stuff. I would never wish harm on anyone. Um, that's not what we're going for. What we're going for is complete transparency, complete truth, and with that, through that comes accountability. I'm not the law. I don't, I don't get to say what the consequences are for actions. We have laws for that, and clearly those laws are not being followed, and it's becoming more and more obvious why those laws are not being followed and why those high powered individuals are not being prosecuted or investigated or arrested, right? And it's because the police are the mercenaries of the hidden hand cabal, right? Those police are hired just like the politicians. Same way. It's the same thing. Installed, placed, corruption. That's it. So there's no quit button here. There's no off switch to this. Once you wake up, you don't go back to sleep, period. And everyone sees the police and law enforcement for what they are today, right? Everybody noticed. You can't hide it anymore. I don't even have to say much of anything, right? I'm just out here saying the same thing that everyone else is saying, is that we should have accountability and the police are corrupt, you know? Talk to me about the thin blue line, right? What is the thin blue line? That thin blue line, that thin line is right and wrong. They know they're dead wrong, right? You're going to get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for that speeding ticket, talking on the phone, right? Because you know, got into an argument with your neighbor or your spouse, right? You're going to get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You might be on probation. You might have to do some counseling, take a class. It's all one big business, right? Courts are a business for them to make money off of you and protect the people who are committing actual crimes and, you know, real awful crimes. Make sure that those people go undetected so that the Dow Jones can stay at an all-time high, right? One big business. Nobody's going back to sleep. Everybody's noticing. This is for the duration, by the way. Every day, more people wake up. Every day, we become stronger. Every day, our convictions grow. Or they just stay the same. Like, right and wrong, we're going to have accountability. You know, all they can do is lie and hide. and apparently continue this operation until we all say no. It's that simple. There's more of us than there are of them. Way more. Way more. Nobody wants this. Everyone's sick of it. Nobody wants to be a slave. Right? Money is slavery. One big business. Used to be cool, right? Or it used to be something that we gravitated towards, status in society. You know? I pulled out a long time ago. I was hip to the fact that things weren't right, and I got the fuck out of corporate on the spot. That was about 11 years ago, almost 11 years ago now. So today, if someone has money, status, power, if they're untouchable or making a lot of money in corporate or, you know, whatever, like, you stand out like a sore thumb, right? If you're the dude at the parties or you're raving or you're fucking, you've some, like, values are switching, changing. I think people are understanding that we gave something up in ourselves because of the fake and gay culture that was prescribed. People are understanding that what the money is, where it comes from. Good job. Let's press on. I will try to be careful with my words. There is no escaping accountability. And like I said, it's not mine to dish out, but we the people, all the people, are coming together and trafficking children and technology like brain interfacing computer technology in the DARPA N3 program, right? All the technology that you're using to mind control the populace, yeah, harming kids and hacking people's minds is gonna stop real quick in real time.